Good afternoon, one and all. Myself, Shwetha. I'm working as assistant professor in Department of CSC, and my subject is software engineering. Today, I want to discuss the topic risk management. So, before entering into the topic, I want to give the definition for the risk. So, here risk is it is possibility of something happening bad, or it is an uncertain event that may be occur in the format of negative effect in the project or else in an organization. See, while implementing the software development life cycle or else while implementing the project, there is a chance of occurring risks in various aspects. Okay, that may be in the form of errors, that may be in a design phase, that may be in a construction phase, or else in the levels of in the stage of the deployment phase, or anywhere else in the software development life cycle, the risk may occur. So, to so if we want to manage the risk, so it is the process of identifying and analyzing and controlling the risk. For this, there will be a special team or a professional team with various skills and resources to control it and to secure it, to manage the risk. Okay, there will be a professional team to control all kind of resources and also to provide security for the particular project. So coming to the risk identification, to identify the risk, first thing we have to examine the risk, whether what kind of risk it is occurred. Okay, how we can solve it, how we can do the further changes or modifications for the risk, we have to check it. So to identify the risk, first thing we have to examine it. Okay, we have to go through the complete information and the details of the particular risk. Okay, and next thing is risk control. So how we can control the risk? To control the risk, we have to apply various activities and also we should provide the security to the particular information which is existed in the risk management. So to protect the information in the risk control, by using the risk control, we have two things should be known. And the first thing is know yourself, and second one is the know the enemy. So coming to the first one, know yourself. So know yourself is nothing but whether we have a mean knowledge in the particular identification of the risk, identifying the risk or examining the risk and understanding the information and system currently in that place. Okay, so understanding everything about the information is nothing but know yourself. So by that case, we can, if we know the clear information regarding the risk, we can apply solution to it. So coming to the next one, know the enemy. What is the know the enemy here? See, after identity. So here enemy is nothing but risk. So by, how can we know the enemy? By identifying it, by examining it, and understanding the threats facing the organization. Okay, in that case, we can find the enemy and also we can know the enemy, okay, which the threat is facing by an organization. And coming to the next topic, reactive versus proactive risk strategies. So coming to the reactive risk strategy. Okay, this risk strategy is to be applicable or the corrective measures are only taken of the risk is occurred. Okay, so first thing is, so reactive is nothing but after the risk is occurred, we are taking the measures to solve it. Okay, so this has to be done only after the occurrence. Okay, so if in the reactive risk strategy or else in a project, if you won't solve the risk, what happens? And it will face a many issues and the project will be in the danger. So that is the reactive risk strategy. And coming to the proactive risk strategy, so this proactive risk strategy is nothing but it begins before the risk occurs. So in some cases, while doing the implementation of the project, what the developers or software engineers, what they know. So while implementing the thing only, they can analyze in some case in future, here some risk may occur. There is a chance of risk may occur. Okay, so that's what the thing here. Proactive risk strategy is nothing but that risk occurs. Okay, the risk begins before the risk occurs. Okay, this strategy begins before the risk occurs. So here the main priority should be given to the risk and high level. See, in while the risk occur, there will be a risk may occur in a dangerous level or some may occur in the moderate level. So what happens here? The thing is, first thing, which is in a high priority level, the risk should be managed first. Later on, the small risks can be solved easily. So here, high priority risks are managed first. So coming to the topic software risk. So software risks are as of 6 types. Okay, first one is project risk, second one is technical risk, third one is the business, fourth one is the uh, known risk, fifth one is predictable risk, and sixth one is unpredictable risk. So coming to the project risk. So while implementing the project, there occurs different kinds of risk that may be in the format of budget risk. Okay, so budget risk, that may be a staff risk. If the staff members are less and the project may be a bigger one, so if there is the need of staff, there the risk occurs and the requirements. So if you want to develop a software or else if you want to develop a project, what is the main thing? The requirements should be taken properly. If the requirements is not taken properly, what happens? There the risk occurs and the the end stage will not be acceptable. And what is the schedule? So for every project or else every software development, there will be a one schedule. So the delivery time, they should maintain the some specific period for the development of a project. So what is the budget risk here? We have to check all the things related to the budget task and we have to invest on the project. Or else if want to keep, if we want to implement a bigger project, according to that project, we have to maintain the budget or else the risk may occur. And coming to the technical risk, here in the technical risk, that risk may be in the format of interfaces or less in a case of implementing design. So coming to the third one, business risk. So here business risk is again it is of 5 categories. First one is the market, second one is the strategic, and third one is the management. Fourth one is the sales, and fifth one is the budget. Here what is the market? So if there is no customer to buy a product in a market, then there the risk occurs. And second one is the strategic. So if we not follow the company policies, there is the strategic risk may occur. And management, when the people who are most senior to the company, if they leave the organization, when the new one comes, what happens? They can't manage all the things in the organization. Why? Because they are precious to the company and they don't know much things related to the organization. Then fourth one is the sales risk. What is the sales risk? If the person who are in the department of sales, if they don't know how to sell a product or if they don't find any tactic to sell the product, then the risk occurs. Then last one is the budget risk. If we manage the low budget for the high project, what happens? The project will not be successfully implemented. So in that case, the budget risk may occur. The next one is the known risk, which is already known. The risk which we can identify very easily. Next one is predictable risk. Predictable risk is also nothing but it is one kind of the known risk, and unpredictable risk, which we cannot imagine what kind of risk it is occurred there. So coming to the next topic, risk identification. So here, risk identification has two approaches. One is the general risk identification and second one is product specific risk identification. So first one is general risk identification. So this comes under all in the general cases, in general things like house or office or an organization or somewhere else. So the general risk may occur. So if we take the example as house, what it happens? So in a house that may occur in the format of construction or in any phases of the construction of house, the risk may occur. And second one is product specific risk. So particularly on a specific thing, the risk may occur. So steps involved in risk identification. First thing, when we identify the risk, so we should not analyze, we should analyze the risk. After then, we have to make it in a format of checklist. Why? Because if you prepare a checklist, we after identifying the risk, if you prepare a checklist, what happens? The management people who are going to manage the risk, they can identify the risk easily. Or else again, they have to thoroughly go through the each and every phase of the development life cycle in the software. But To avoid that one, what we have to do, we have to prepare a checklist for the risk. Then only the risk management people, they can identify the risk easily and they can solve it. Creating risk components and drivers list. Okay. So next one here. So how to prepare the checklist items, risk item checklist. So what here again we have, if we take a product, so these are the checklist items, how we can mention it. So in the first one is product size. So if we take the product size, so the risk may be occurred in the way of the product software size. Okay. So business impact, how the business impact will be done. So on the conditions of management, if they manage all the things, there won't be any impact on the business. Otherwise, they may the impact may occur on the particular organization or else a business. Then the next one is the customer characteristic. So if you want to implement a software, first thing we have to analyze the choices of the customer. So nowadays, day to day, there are many versions, many tools, many design specifications. Okay. So in that case, we have to keep in the mind the choice of the customer. Then only we have to implement the particular software. Then process definition. So it is the organization standards, how they are following, how to maintain the degree of to which the software will follow the organization standards and development environment. So day to day, there is a much change in all the aspects of the implementation of the software or development of the software. So we have to check what kind of tools we are going to use in that. Maybe in the design case. In design case, we have various kinds of specifications and various kinds of tools which can you can use the characteristics of tools to implement the new innovation in designing. So that is the availability of development tools and staff size and experience. For every company, there are many staff, but in some cases, the freshers are needed. In most probably, the experienced people are needed to the organization. Okay. And next thing is the creating risk components and drivers list. So again, here we have risk components of four types. First one is the performance risk. Second one is the cost risk. Third one is the support risk. Fourth one is the schedule risk. So here, what is the performance risk? Whether the software performance is good or not, we have. So in that case, the risk may occur. And cost risk. If the budget is not properly maintained, then the cost risk will be occurred. And support risk. See, for every project or as every software development, after the in the deployment stage, after delivering the product to the particular customer, what happens after delivery? Some companies they won't take care or support the particular customer after the deployment phase. So in that case, the risk may occur. Why? Because after delivering the product, many issues may occur to the customer. If we support them only, there won't be any risk from the customer side or someone's other organizations or somewhere else. So by that case, this company can maintain the standard. So if the particular organization people, if they won't support the customer after the deployment phase, what happens? There occurs the support risk. And next one is the schedule risk. So then the last one is the schedule risk. So this is nothing but for every software for every software the last one is the schedule risk. For every software deployment that should be done on the time. When the customer, he gives the requirements to the organization people or the software engineers or developers related to the organization, he will give certain period for the deployment of the particular software. So if they will obey the just on-time deployment, nothing risk will happen. If they not deploy the software in the time, they the schedule risk may occur. And next thing is risk projection. And coming to the next topic, it is risk projection. Risk projection is nothing but estimating some process related to the risk. And in this, we have the two types of risk projection. For two methods in the risk projection. First one is the probability that is real. Risk is real. So everywhere there is a chance of occurrence of risk that may be a real or somewhere it is fake. So here there is a chance of risk occurring is real. It may be a 90%, it may be a 10%, it may be a 1%. So what is the second method here? Consequences with it. What the things we are going to face, like what the problems we are going to face with that risk. If the risk is real, what type of consequences we are going to face with that risk. So next thing is the steps involved and the people who will be involved in the risk projection, that means the project planner or technical staff. So here, steps involved in the risk projection. The first one is building the risk table. So after finding the risk, we have to make a list and the problems, what had occurred in the software, also what type of categories, what type of impact that is happened in the risk, we have to mention and enlist the consequences of risk. So what are the, if the risk is real, what are the consequences we are going to face? We have to enlist them and estimate the impact of the risk on our project. So, in what way the risk is going to change our project, we have to estimate it and maintaining overall accuracy of the risk preparation. So, we have to estimate the impact of the risk here. And next one, RMMM. So, here RMMM means it is risk mitigation monitoring management. So here, first one coming to the first one, risk mitigation. So this is the thing where it prevents risk from occurrence. And here, what should be done? There must be a communication between the staff and finding the risk, and it has to be eliminate the causes for risk before the project starts. Okay, so we have to maintain the all the relevant documents and conduct reviews on time. By if we conduct the reviews on time, what happens? We can uh, we can find out the things that related to risk or any issues related to the project, or else we can implement the new things related to project. By conducting the reviews, we have various kinds of advantages. And what is the risk monitoring here? Here, the project manager, he will monitor the he will monitor all kinds of the things which is happening in the project. So here, what is the first one? So behavior of team mass pressure. So if there isn't a work task pressure for the team, what happens? The workload will be increased more. So spirit of teamwork. So for every team, there must be a goal. There must be encouraging thing to maintain the spirit. So cooperation among the team members. So if there is a unity in the team members, what happens? They will support each other very well and they will implement the thing very easily. Okay, pros that may occur. So the risk which that occurred in the implementation of the project. Okay. And next one is risk management. So this is done by the project manager when the risk becomes reality. There is a chances of happening. There is a probability, and or else there is a chance of uh, risk may happen. Sorry, is done by the project manager when risk becomes reality. So if the mitigation is done properly, management becomes very easily. Here mitigation is nothing but prevents from the risk from the occurrence. If it is done properly, the management risk can be managed very easily. If the risk becomes reality, what happens that should be managed by the project manager. Okay, next one is coming to RMM plan. Okay, so here all the risk analysis activities will be described. Each risk is described using risk information sheet. As I told you in the previous topic, so risk identification, what I have told you there, that we have to prepare a checklist related to the risk which we have identified. So here what we have to do, so there will be a risk information sheet. So by that, for each and every risk, there will be a one sheet. So for the information sheet will be in this format. So, so coming to the RIS, here first thing is the project name. So what is the project name? So what we are implementing the project. So we have to name it. Okay, we have to give a name for it here. And what is the risk ID here? So if we found the risk first one, if the first risk is found, we have to give risk ID as one. That is depends on your like, so whatever you want to give, you can give the name. And what is the date here? The date is nothing but when we have found the risk, we have to mention the date of the risk identified. Then what is the probability? There is a chance of occurring of the risk that may be a 1 to 100% anywhere. So what is the impact, the effect which is going to happen for the project? So what is the origin from where the risk is started? That say in software development life cycle, there are many phases. Okay, there are several components involved in it. There are several modules involved in it. So in that case, everywhere there is a chance to occur a risk. So from where the risk it is identified, we have to mention. So assigned to. So who should work on this means for whom we are assigning the risk. So for a risk management team, there may be several people to manage the risk, but only the particular person we are going to give this risk to work on this. So here, what is the description? So that is summary of the risk, where the risk occurred, what kind of risk it is, how to solve it. So that in a simpler way, we can give the description here. And what is the refinement? So explaining complete summary of the risk. Okay, mitigation. So prevents risk from occurrence or defining the list of all the risk tasks here and trigger or contingency plan. Plan will be given to team to act upon the risk. Okay, how to solve it? There will be a plan that will be given to the team to act upon the risk. And what is the status here to know the status of the risk, whether how it so at what level it is, what kind of risk it is. So which day it is found. So all things we have to mention in the status. Then who is the originator here? The team member who identify the risk is the originator. So, so closing date is the risk when the risk is closed. That is the closing date. So this is the risk information sheet. For every individual risk, there will be a maintained some risk information sheet. Okay. Thank you, one and all. Hmm?
Everton. Pine.